Hey guys, and welcome to another episode on the Dev Marketer channel. This is part 41 of our series on how to build a blog with Laravel. You're going to watch the rest of the intro here in a second. I'm actually recording this after filming the video, and I'm just saying that I ran into lots of problems while filming this video. Nothing like big or crazy or scary, just I think it's early in the morning and my brain's not 100% there, and I made some pretty stupid mistakes throughout the video and needed to debug them while on camera there. So I'm leaving it all in. You guys can go ahead and watch it, get whatever humor you want out of it, or learn what you can out of it and stuff like that. But I am going to keep it in there and just go ahead and run this all the way through. The reason I want to make this intro is just to let you guys know I do realize that there's a lot of extra stuff in there, and if you want to skip over it, just skip over it. But for this video, I think I'm going to keep it in, and then in the next videos, we'll get back to something a little more concise. But I wanted to get these up. There's not a lot new to learn, so I thought it'd be fun to just do a casual episode where I'm just being filmed, and if I make the mistakes, you guys watch me resolve them right on camera. And lucky for you, I ran into, or unlucky for you, depending how we look at it, I ran into lots of problems on camera. So anyway, just giving you guys that heads up. Let's go ahead, dive into this video. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode on the Dev Marketer channel. This is the channel where we help you build and grow your next great idea. Now this series is all about learning Laravel. It's our How to Build a Blog with Laravel series, and in this specific episode, we're going to be working on starting the comment system for our blog. So I originally actually was going to skip over this. I didn't think we needed to do a comment system, not necessarily because it wasn't important for the blog, but just because we had already learned all the concepts needed for the comment system. So I figured it was something you guys could just kind of do on your own. But I've gotten a lot of very, we're going to call them passionate emails that people really want the commenting system. So we're going to go through and add it. I'm going to just kind of fly through it real quick, and we're going to be we're just going to kind of do a casual episode today, not as many edits and cuts and all that kind of stuff, and just kind of see where we end up. So I'm going to try to cut this into as many parts as it takes in order to just kind of keep the episodes confined. We'll see how long this takes. Sometimes these take a little bit longer when I don't have all the edits in them, but I figured that because we've already know all the stuff, I would just kind of do one of these more casual episodes where I just sit here, I code, and you guys just kind of follow along for the ride, and I'll talk about whatever comes to mind while we work. So I've got a lot of stuff open here. Hopefully my computer can handle it. It should be able to. I'm working on a lot of projects right now, and so the computer's like, the fan is running right now pretty hard. Okay, so let's empty this trash. I had 70,000 things in my trash for some reason. I don't know where they all came from. And let's go ahead and get started. So let's open up Sublime, and we're going to go over to our app. I'm in the wrong project. This is yesterday's project. Okay, so let's go to, let's open up our terminal, and we're going to go to CD, sites, CD blog. There we go. And now we can open this up in Sublime. There we go. This looks much friendlier. There we go. That's what we were expecting. Okay, so let's see. We're going to be working on the comment system. So what do we need to do when we're creating a brand new resource? First things first, we need to create a migration, I guess, so that we actually have something in our database to store the new resource. We need to create a model to work with the database. We need to create a controller to manage all of the different requests. We need to create a route to link things to the right place, and then we'll need to create the views to do whatever they need to do. Okay, so to start off with, let's do the model and the migration. We can do those together in the terminal. So we'll just do that right here. We'll do PHP artisan make migration, or no, we can do make model, and we're going to make the model called comment. And we're calling it comment because it's our all of the comments, but we always do it singular with the capital letter at the top. So comment, and we can make a resource controller out of this comment model. So it's going to make the model, make the, or not resource, sorry, we need to do model. So, and then we'll make the model as well. We'll see if this works. I can't remember if it's with model or... No, it's migration. My gosh, what am I thinking? This is the downside of the the casual episodes. You're going to see me go crazy a couple times. Okay, so we're already making the model. We need to make the migration. So we do -- migration. Okay, so now we can go ahead and click enter. We created the model successfully. So we have now a model named comment, and we created the migration for... And the migration is called create comments table. So it knows what it's doing here. Laravel is pretty slick. Okay, let's see. Let's start with that. We'll come back and make the controller in a second. So let's head back. First thing I like to work on whenever I'm doing a new resource is I like to just start with the migration. So we're going to come down here to the bottom, migration. You can see it set up a create comments table, and it already created a new table called comments with an ID and a timestamp. So we just need to add the things in between that we need. So think about real quick, what do we want to store for our comments? Well, we need to store the name of the person leaving the comment, their email address maybe, to confirm, that they are someone or something. And then we'll need the actual body of the content or the comment. And then we're definitely going to need the post ID that the comment belongs to set up that relationship. And I think that is basically everything. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll do table string, and we're going to call that name. And then we're going to have table string, and that'll be our email. Oops. And then we're going to do table text. Yes, text. And we're going to call that comment. And then we're going to do table integer. Okay. And we're going to call that post ID. And that'll be basically it. I did have this idea. We could invent some sort of approval system. I'll show you that real quick. Let's go ahead and do that. So we'll do table Boolean, and we're going to say approved. Okay. And the reason that I wanted to do that is just because it just kind of we might get into this or not. We'll see how this goes. But we can create a Boolean, which is a true or false, and then it'll be either approved or not approved. Time ID. Okay, so that's basically everything. The last thing that we're going to want is at the bottom here. Sometimes we actually want to set up this post ID to be a foreign key. All right, so we'll do table foreign. Is that how you do it? Yeah, foreign. And we're going to call it post ID. All right, and then we're going to say that references. Yep. And that it references the ID number on the post table. Okay. And then that's basically it. The other thing you could do here is you could do an on delete cascade. Okay. So there we go. So basically what we want to do there is when you cascade, what this says basically is if someone deletes the posts, it'll cascade and delete the this reference right here. So anyway, that's kind of good to have. That way you don't need to use the detach method. I don't like, in many-to-many relationships, I think it's way better to do detach. But with these simple ones, you can do the cascade delete. Okay, so that's basically all we need for that. So this will just drop the whole comments table. So we're good to go there. I think we're done. So we can go ahead and save this. And let's go ahead and run the migration. So let's head back over to our terminal. We're going to do PHP artisan migrate. We get an error. Cannot add foreign key constraint. I wonder why it cannot add the foreign key constraint. That's funny. Let's look at our table real quick. Blog. Comments. InnoDB supports them. They're all InnoDB. I wonder why it won't support it. Let's Google this. So general error 1215, can I add foreign key constraints? Let's go ahead and do this. And do we have let's open up we'll do it over here. Okay. Let's save this. Let's figure out the problem here. Let's add Laravel in here. Okay. All right, I'm creating foreign keys. However, when I migrate my table, I'm getting thrown this error. Very similar to us. Very, very similar. Okay. There's the migration. Okay. Any ideas of what I'm doing wrong? I want to get this right. I've got tables I need to create. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Add it in 2 steps, and it's good to make it unsigned too. Did we make it unsigned? I don't think we did. That is a good idea, though. So that's what we need to do. Oh, okay, I got it. Okay, so what's happening here? So this is the casual episode. I hope you guys were... that might have been boring. Could have skipped ahead. But anyway, what's happening here, I actually learned something new. I did not realize this before. That you can't put these together. What we need to do is we need to allow it to create the this column for our post ID. And then after it creates the column, then we can set up the foreign key relationship. I didn't realize that they had to be done in 2 steps, but they do. The other thing is you don't have to do this, but this is a good idea. You just do unsigned. Since you'll never store a negative ID number, you don't need to have it. You can have it unsigned. Just allows, it minimizes memory use. Okay, so let's go ahead and add unsigned to our integer here. Hopefully that made sense though, guys. Okay, so I'll show you here what it means. So what we need to do is we need to set up this first option here to create all these fields with the post ID. Okay, so we need to do that. And then let's go ahead. Let's just save this real quick. Let's roll back our migration that we just did. In fact, actually, real quick, before we roll it back, let's make sure that it's even... If we go to our migrations here, it actually never registered as complete. So we're in this awkward middle ground here because the comment, it actually did create the comments table, and then it failed at the very end. And so it thinks it failed at the migration, but it didn't. So we need to delete this row manually. This table, I mean. All right, and then the migrations, you can see this stores all the migrations. It doesn't think it completed the create comments table. So that's why we needed to do that. So we're actually not going to roll back. We just manually dealt with it. But what we can do here is we need to create now a second function. And it's going to be called, we're accessing the comments table. Function, table. And then down here is where we're actually going to do what we just put. So we'll do table. Now we're going to assign the foreign, we're actually going to set up the foreign key constraint. Which means my bet is that down here you actually have to kill the foreign key constraint. So you do drop foreign. And we'll just drop foreign of post ID. Okay. So it's going to get rid of the comments table, get rid of the foreign key. We'll be set. And yeah, that's basically it. Actually, let's go ahead and just move this to the top. Put this back down to the bottom. We want to do it in reverse order. So we want to solve this first and then reverse that. Okay. So we should be good there. Now let's go ahead and run the migration. So PHP artisan migrate. Now it migrated. We should be good to go. So let's check it out real quick in our database. We come over to comments. You can see here that we've got our post ID. It's an integer. And you can see that we also now have our foreign key constraint right here. Okay, so we're set. Let's go ahead and close this. And now we got the migration. Let's do the model. So the model is under the app folder and then under here under comment. And this is where we would actually set up our relationship. So remember that comments belong to one post and posts belong to many comments, or have many comments. Let's start actually on the post side of the relationship, and let's set it up here where we're going to say that posts have many comments. So we'll do public function post or comments, I mean, and we're going to say that return this has many, okay, because they have many app/comment. Okay. So that one's set up. We've updated the post. Now let's update under comments here. We can do the opposite of that, which is saying it belongs to public function post. And we're going to say that it belongs to a post. Like that. Okay? So now we got the relationships. Everything else is done with the model. Now what we need to do is we actually need to create our controller. So let's go through and do that. We can go back over to our terminal, PHP artisan make controller. And we're going to call it the comments controller. Getting fancy with names here. Just kidding. These boring names are actually good. You just want to keep it consistent. And then I'm going to do -- resource, which creates a resource controller. So it's got the create, update, all the CRUD stuff in it. You don't need that, but it just makes it a little easier. So we're going to go ahead and click enter. Controller created successfully. If we head on over to HTTP controllers now, we should have a comments controller. Sweet. And we can go ahead and we'll start filling this in a second. Now, the first thing we need to do to actually create comments is we actually need to create a form over on our blog. So let's take a look at the blog real quick, and I'll show you what I mean real fast. PHP artisan serve. And let's head on over to localhost 8000. So let's head on over to our blog. We can just read this first post here, the marketing post, and it says, okay, so we're down here under marketing post, which is great. And now what we need to do is need to add a form for our comments that's kind of down underneath here. So underneath here, but before the footer down here. So we need to create a form in here because this is where you're going to type the actual comment, click enter, and then it's going to associate that comment with this blog post. All right. So let's come back down over here and we're going to, let's set up our routes first. So let's come on over to our routes and we're going to create a route resource and we're going to call it comments. Like that. And we can set up this accept as well if we wanted, because we don't need a create because the create is being added on the, well, yeah, so the create, you know what actually is, I think we might want to manually do comments. So let's actually get rid of this and let's create a manual comments, and I'll explain why here in a second. Okay, so comments, and let's now do a route. We're going to manually set up our comments. So we're going to do route. We're going to do our store first because that's the first thing we need. So we'll do route post. It's a post request to do our store. And we're going to do comments / and then the ID number for the post is what I think we'll do. Yeah. So let's do ID. We're going to do okay, so let's just do ID. This is actually the ID though. Let's call it post ID. So this is the ID for the post. Okay. And then we're going to say that this links to our comments controller. In fact, what we can do here is we'll actually do the longhand. So we'll do uses, and then we'll do the name of the controller. So comments controller, and we'll do an @store. And then we'll say as to set up a named route, and we'll say we're going to call this comments.store. Okay, so that's our first one. So let's go ahead and we saved that now. Let's go ahead and store a blog, store comments. So the first thing we need to do is actually create the form. So let's go to resources, views, and comments. Oh, we don't have a comments. We go into blog. We're going to be storing it on this page here. So this is our blog.single. So let's come back over here to blog and then single.blade.php. And then we're going to store it here underneath all of this. So actually, this reminds me real quick. We're going to take a little side note, because this actually has been showing up on GitHub. This showed up on GitHub under an issue request. And this is actually a perfect time to address the issue. Real quick, let me just open it GitHub and show you guys. So for all of you guys that don't know, I actually post every single, not quite every single, but most of the parts that have applicable code. I'll actually post it on GitHub, where you can actually go to that part and get the code for that part. If you go to releases, actually, you can see all the parts and you can download the code directly. Okay, so all the code's available on GitHub here. Links in the description of every video that has it, and it'll be in this video as well. You can go down there and check out the the release for the video and download the source code, or you can just go look at the code, obviously, for that part. You would just come over to tags and then click that part, and then it will show the stuff for that. Okay, so anyway, under here though, someone had created an issue. We've got a cross-site scripting error. Basically up here, I was confused at first when you first started talking about it, so I was really confused, but I figured it out eventually. I was looking down here at this post title. I was like, well, that's safe. I don't understand the problem. But then I realized up here, we actually access post title without escaping it like we do here. When we do these curly braces, we escape it, and here we didn't escape it. So we're gonna quickly escape it up here, and I'll show you guys how to fix that so we can fix this bug. Now, also, I've been creating in the README here, all the known bugs. I've been adding those. So if you have any bugs that you want to get fixed, go ahead and create an issue on GitHub, and I'm going to add it to the known bugs. And at the end of the series, we're going to go through and fix all the bugs. I don't want to fix it usually immediately because it can cause confusion for people, because if I just randomly add it in here, then our code gets off sync because we're following it, video to video. So I don't want to do anything that is not being filmed. So I only want to add to the code if it's filmed. So I haven't gone through and added the bug fixes, but at the end, I think we'll do a video with all the bug fixes so you guys can see all the bug fixes. But I'm adding in the README right now, all the known bugs that I'm aware of that you guys basically submit usually. Okay, so we're gonna go down here so let's come over to our project here. Let's fix this and then we'll move on and make the form. So to fix this, what we need to do is we can't, unfortunately, add HTML special cars like you normally would in here because it has to be a perfect string. That's just the way it is. We can't do blade. None of this seems to work. And maybe it does. If you guys have a better solution than the one I'm going to provide, go over to GitHub under that comment, the XSS comment, and let me know if there's a better solution for it. However, I don't know what the better solution is. So this is what I'm going to do. PHP, we're going to open up a PHP tag, and we're going to create a new tag called title tag. We're going to set that equal to HTML special cars, and we're going to put post title into it. So we're going to get out the escaped version of post title. We're going to save it as title tag, and then now I'm going to just input title tag in here like that. Okay? That's the way that I'm going to do it. If you guys have a better solution, I would love to see it because this doesn't feel right. I'm going to be honest with you. It doesn't feel right. Something's not right with that. But it will. I'm pretty sure it'll work. Let's try it real quick. Yep, still seems to work. And now it is safe. Okay? So because we escaped the characters. All right, so that'll now be fixed. I'm going to go ahead and submit that on the GitHub. And now let's go ahead and add our comment form. So we're going to go here. Let's add another row. And inside of this row, we're going to create our form. So let's create another fib. We're going to call it comment form. And ideally, actually, this would be an ID. So let's just do that. And then inside of here, we're going to create our form. So let's do that. We're going to do form, open, and inside of here, we're going to set, by the way, you need to have an array, okay? I always do arrays with brackets, so make sure you get those. So you need to have an array, and inside the array, we can set the route that it's going to go to. In this case, it's going to go to comment.store. Real quick, did I do comments.store or I did comments plural.store? Okay. That's good. That's actually the convention that we normally do, so that's a good idea. Comments.store, and then we actually need to make this an array as well because we need to pass in a second value. Okay, so the second parameter we want to pass in is this ID number. Oops, I keep going over here. It's this ID number here we need to pass in. And the reason I want to do this is because we need to associate it with a post. So we're going to submit the comment, but then we're going to attach the post that the post ID for the comment where the comment needs to link to. Okay, so that's why I went outside of this route resource and did it this way. So let's okay, I get over here. So let's do comment store, and then we're going to do the post ID like that. All right, and then now what we'll do is the second parameter will be our method, and it's going to be a post method like that. Okay, so that's our form. We opened it up. Let's go ahead and close it. And then in the middle here, what we're going to do is we're going to set up the actual stuff. So we'll do form. In fact, actually, real quick, we're going to create some structure in here. So let's do row. And then inside of that row, we're going to create column MD6, so half the width. And this is where we're going to create a label and our name field. So label, we're going to call it name. Set the value equal to name. All right, and then down here, we're going to do form, text, name. The second parameter is the default value, so that's null. And then any classes we want to pass in or anything else, we'd pass in as an array. And we're going to call it form control. And then we're good. Okay, so now the next one, we're going to make another column MD6, and that will put, so these will go side by side. Let's do it again, a label. We're going to call this email. We're going to set email to email, and then text again. No default value, and then we're going to set the class equal to form control. Okay, perfect. All right, so next, let's go ahead and let's create a column MD12, which will be full width, and this will actually be the body of our comments. Okay, so label, comment, and then down here, we'll actually create a text area. So it's a little bit different. It's a text area, and but it's otherwise the same. So we're going to call it comment, have no default value, and then we'll set the class. Shoot, I keep doing that. Class equal to form control, like that. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and save that. Oh, we need a button to submit. So underneath here, let's do a button, form, submit, and we're going to call this add comment. And then let's just add a class to it as well. And the class will be btn success, and then btn block, and that'll be good. So we're good there. Next, let's go ahead and add, we're good. Let's just try this. So let's come over here, refresh. We get our post, sweet. We actually have it off, so let's offset this row. It's offset right here, but we didn't offset it down here. We also forgot to put in any type of column system. So column MD 8, column MD offset 2, so it's offset by 2 columns. 8 columns wide. That should be good. Save that, refresh. Much better, much better. Let's add some spacing up above here. We're just gonna do inline styling for that, since we wouldn't do this for production, but I'm gonna just do it for the sake of the video. Margin top 50 pixels. Refresh, there we go. Let's add some spacing on this real quick. The button. So style, margin, top. Let's do 15 pixels. Save, go over here, refresh. Okay, I think we're good. Let's just shorten up this comment real quick. Let's just add another item down here. We'll call it rows, and we'll set rows to 5 rows. I think the default's 10. Nothing's happening. Did we save this? Class. make sure I've got everything correct. Rows 5. That would be right, wouldn't it? Or is it row? I think it's rows. Oh, I'm adding rows to the wrong thing. We need to add it over here. So let's add rows to 5. Okay, perfect. Save that. There we go, much better. So now we got our name, email, comment. Good to go. So now if we submit this comment, it'll be submitted to our store function. I don't think we need anything else for this right here. We just need to go over and set up the store function. So let's come back over to our controller. So let's head back up here, comments controller. We've got a store function right here. Let's go ahead and do that. And the other thing we're going to need to do is, because we're passing in that post ID, we're going to save it here, post ID, like that. Okay, so let's come over and let's set it up. So first thing we need to do is validate. So let's come over here to validate, and we're going to validate the request. All right, and then we're going to set up all the parameters for the validation. So let's go ahead and set that, are the rules. Okay, so we're going to set name, and we're going to set that equal to a minimum or required. That's basically it. Oh, we need to do a max of 255, just so that they don't accidentally fit. I don't think they ever will, but we're just going to put the max there because that's all the column can handle. Okay, next we have the email, and we're going to set that equal to required email, and then also max 255. Once again, I don't think it's a problem, but we need to put it in there. And then the last one here is comment, and comment will be equal to required, and we're going to set a minimum on this one because that needs something valuable to say. We'll do a minimum of 5 characters, and then a maximum of, we can give them more talk. We'll give them 2,000 characters to talk. Okay, so there we go. We got the validation all set up. Now we need to actually create the comments. So let's go comment equals new comment, like that. And we need to make sure we actually have namespace comment in. So let's come back up here. We're going to do use app /comment, like that. We're good to go. Let's come back down here. And now we can set up our comments. So let's do comment name equals request name. Okay. I did get one thing someone was confused about earlier. In a previous video, I had done input name, and these do the exact same thing. So whichever you prefer, you can do input name, or you can just do the shorthand, which is name. It looks a little cleaner. Comment email equals request email. Comment comment equals request comment. Okay, now we do have our approved, so let's go ahead and set up the approved. For now, we're just going to auto approve everything. Approved equals true. And then the last thing we have is our we've got the post ID. So what we can do here is we can do comment associate, and we're going to associate this comment to our post ID, which we have up here. And actually, before we do that, we need to pass in the object for the post ID. So what we'll do before we get there is we're going to create post equals post find, and we're going to find it by that post ID. All right, so this grabs the post object, and then we're going to pass in the post object to make sure they get associated. And then now it'll associate that with it, which will link the ID number up. And then the last thing we do is comment save, and then we can add other things like we normally do. We usually add a flash message just to give them, so they know what's going on. So success. comment was added. And then we usually also do a redirect. So we return redirect. And so we're currently, let's see, what's this? Let's rake our routes real quick. PHP artisan rake routes. Oh, wait. We don't need to rake routes. PHP artisan route. Rake routes is how you do, that's how you do it in Ruby on Rails. Okay, I get confused sometimes. Okay, so PHP route list. And if we go over to our blog slug here, you can see that we have blog.single. Okay, so we can go to blog.single if we wanted. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go route blog.single. And then we also need to pass in, so I think we need an array for this. And we're going to pass in the slug. So let's pass in post slug like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and give this a try. Let's create a new comment, and we're going to call it Alex Curtis. Hello at devmarketer.io. This is the first comment. Sweet. Add comment. Oh, we got an error because we forgot to namespace post. I was so close to being done. Forgot to namespace again. Use app/post. Also, we need to, while I'm thinking about it, let's not forget our session either. Okay, so real quick, for those that didn't catch that, I forgot to namespace post in, and I forgot to namespace session in. So let's go ahead and try it again. Let's come back here, and we're going to submit it. Wait, why is it not? I didn't save it. Forgot to save. Let's save that. Try it again. Okay, so we forgot to associate. Call to undefined method, illuminate database query build associate. Okay, so I think I might have messed up here. We actually need to do right here. We actually need to tell it what to associate. So we're saying comment post associate. Like that. Okay, now the reason for that is if we go back to our comment model, we're doing this. Okay, so that's where that comes from. So we're saying associate the post. Okay, and I didn't reference that. So let's save that, and then let's come back and try once more. Let's save this again. Illegal offset. That's such a... yeah, I'm going to double check and see if this is the problem. So let's go real quick to, I'm going to comment this out. We're going to try to submit one again and see if it... So sometimes you'll just comment out things that you think might be the problem and then figure out when it starts working. And then you know that the last thing you commented is the problem. So I'm added it again. So here I didn't get the error, which means that that's probably why that's exactly why I didn't, I had the error. So this is the error right here, was this. So if I uncommented out, the reason I think is because this is a string and it's expecting a ID number, okay? And so I could do post ID, but I don't think ID works anymore. So we might be solving another bug, which is okay. That actually might be okay. Because now if I do, this is the third comment. Yeah, now we get the same error again. So, oh wait, how do we get the same error again? Here, let's double check our route. See, am I crazy on the route? Let's double check it real quick. Here we go, this should work. Profile, route profile. Out. Oh, that's why. I did the array is not wrapping the whole thing. It's only wrapping the parameters. That explains it. I don't even know why I did that. I've done this a lot, and I don't know why I did that. Okay, so let's try this. So we wrap this in an array, and see how it works. Okay, so we come back over here. Let's come back over our projects. And, oh, let's try also, instead of the ID, let's try the slug again. Okay, so this is now our fourth comment. And add. And now it was successfully added. Perfect. So it's actually coming back to the same post. This is what we wanted. We solved the problem, and that's basically that. So we're good. Now the only thing we haven't done yet is we would like to kind of show the comments here, and then that'll finish up this video. So let's just go ahead and we're going to actually display the comments. So we need to do that in our view. So let's come over to our single.blade. And then we have the question of, do we want to put comments before the form or after? And I'm going to put it before. So let's come up to the top. Here's our comment form up here. It's from here to here. So like right below this, let's do our, in fact, let's just create a new row for it. So we're going to create a row, and then we're going to do column MD 8, column MD offset 2, same thing. And then we're going to do, this is where we're actually going to put the comments. Okay, so we got to loop through the comments. Now, real quick, let's just see if we need, yeah, let's just loop through the comments actually. So let's do it. So for each post comments as comment. I think you don't need this. Let's try it. I think you do. That's the object. Okay. Post comments as comment, and then inside of here, let's do an end for each. I just want to make sure this works real quick. Let's just try this real fast. Okay, it doesn't work. I think you need, that's what I'm second guessing myself because I'm like live on TV here, live on YouTube. Okay, so let's, it's just this without the parentheses. That's kind of what I thought at first, and then like I said, I started second guessing myself. So, okay, now we've got all the comments for this post. Now let's format them. So let's, in our loop here, we're gonna create a new div every single time. We're gonna call it comment. And then we're going to, let's see, we gotta display the name. We're not going to display the email, so just the name and the actual comments. So let's go ahead and do this here. So paragraph name equals comment name. And then we're going to do we're going to break it, and then we're going to do a line break, and then we're going to actually display the comment. Okay, just like that. And let's go ahead and make these bold. Okay, these won't be the sexiest comments, but I just want to show you guys, kind of demonstrate it. So let's go back over here and we're going to refresh. Okay, now you can see we've got all of our comments. So we've got Alex, this is the first comment, whatever. Okay, so we've made all of our comments, and let's just add a little bit of spacing here. We would normally go through and style these, but we're not going to style them, just for the sake of time. All right, so there we go. So we've got all of our comments. You can still go through and read all of our comments. It's probably one too many line breaks. There we go. That's not bad. All right, so next things first. Next thing is that's up is going to be, well, let's just try real fast. So now we're going to say we're Joe Schmo. And it's Joe Schmo at gmail.com. This is my comment as Joe Schmo. Okay, and then we add our comment, and then we've got Joe Schmo down here. Okay, so everything's been added. We're good to go. Video got a little bit longer than I wanted, but I think hopefully you guys found some value in it. Now, the next video I'm going to talk about, we're going to create something where we can log in and we can actually see all the videos or see all the comments, and then see them listed on the blog page in the back on the back end of this. and finish up some of the edits and stuff like that as well. So that's what we're gonna do in the next video. I'm actually just gonna continue straight on, but it'll be available for you guys in a separate